Fight fans, what's going on? 114, 113 is how I scored it for Andre Ward. I didn't see the fight last night. I actually went to bed, so I got up and watched it this morning before I started seeing what some of you were talking about on Twitter and YouTube and reaction shows and everything else. I wanted to get my own feel for the fight. And I actually scored this fight, and I had it 114, 113 for Ward. Now, I did pick Ward to win, but I have to say this fight didn't go exactly the way I thought it would. To be very honest with you, as much as I respect the Crusher, I thought that Ward was going to come out there and do what Terrence Crawford did to Victor Postal. I did think it was a 50-50 fight, and I did think it could go either way, but I really thought that Andre Ward would dominate more, but he didn't. This is actually how I scored it. I gave Kovalev rounds 1, 2, 6, 10, and 11. And, of course, Kovalev had the 10-8 round in the second. And I gave Andre Ward rounds 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 12. The only close round that could have went either way to me was round 4. I gave it to Ward, but that round could have actually swung towards Kovalev's way, which on my scorecard would have gave him the win by a point. I do want to see a rematch. After I watched the fight, I got on Twitter this morning, and I'm seeing some of the crazy stuff some of us fight fans are talking about. I'm hearing robbery and all this, and Robert Byrd didn't do this and do that. I can't agree with any of you. I didn't think that Robert Byrd did a bad job. I like my referee to let a little bit of banging go on before he break it up. People are acting like he allowed these guys to clinch and hold for 10, 12, 15 seconds, which we have seen some refs do. He let them fight. He did give them warnings like a good ref should do. He didn't want to take the matter into his hands. He wanted them to control the matter. And to be honest, I didn't think it was a bad fight. The way that some of the folks out here are talking is like it was a horrible fight and it was one of the worst fights they ever seen. I'm going to repeat. You must have not watched the Tyson Fury Vladimir Klitschko fight. If you have 36 minutes of time to waste, go watch that fight again, and you will see a fight that was full of holding and it was very boring. I actually was pretty entertained by this fight, and I would like to actually see a rematch. I would love to see Ward and Kovalev do it again. The biggest difference, I think, what gave Ward the edge was the body work. I think that after those first 3, 4 rounds, he started focusing on the body, and in my opinion, it was very evident that Kovalev was slowing down in those later rounds. He wasn't. His punches didn't seem as sharp, and they didn't seem to have as much power, on them. Now I have to give my man Crusher some credit because he cracked Andre Ward in the second round with that straight right hand, and I thought that if this guy could not put a 49-year-old Bernard Hopkins down, not only was Bernard Hopkins 49, but Kovalev would have been 2 years younger back in 2014 when they fought at the end of the year. No way he's going to put down a technician like Ward. Well, I was wrong. I mean, he caught Ward with a beautiful right hand. It wasn't a lucky punch. It was set up beautifully. And Kovalev, he proved in the Hopkins fight that he can box. He's not Arthur Abraham. He's not a dude who just puts the high guard up and is looking to punch. Kovalev can actually box, and he proved it in his fight. My opinion is I think the body work is what did him in. I think that he allowed Ward, when he got inside, to work that body, and it slowed him down in the end. I would love to see a rematch. The outcome could be different, and I think even in a rematch, after what I saw this time, it would still be a 50-50 fight. So what you going to do? What's going to happen next? Well, if for some reason the rematch doesn't take place, which I hope that's not the case, then it's only one fight I want to see Andre Ward in. If he somehow does not rematch Kovalev right now, like in the spring, I want to see him fight Adonis Stevens. Just plain and simple. I don't want to hear the excuses about Ward fighting on HBO. Ward is represented by Rock Nation, which does not have ties with the companies that beef with each other. So if he doesn't fight Kovalev, let's see him fight Adonis Stevens and prove that he is the true light heavyweight champion. But what I really would like to see sometime in the spring, early summer at the latest, is the rematch between SOG and the Crusher. I thought it was a pretty good fight. I was actually pleasantly surprised because I thought it would be uglier than it was, but it wasn't. And I guess everybody's entitled to their opinion. Some of you thought it was a crap fight. I don't feel that way. I didn't think it was a crap fight. I didn't think it was a crap decision. If it would have been 114, 113 Kovalev, that would have been a good decision. I had it 114, 113 Ward. I feel that was a good decision. It was the very definition of a 50-50 fight. Unlike Crawford against Postal, which was supposed to be 50-50 and ended up being really 85-15 or 80-20 if you want to really be nice about it. That's all I have. I'm looking forward to seeing it again. I'm looking forward to the fights coming up next weekend. Catch y'all later.